of the rivers of western Pennsylvania, the rivers of steel and the rivers that flow through Steel Town, came a native son. And Joe Montana's storybook journey took him from Monongahela to Notre Dame to San Francisco and to victories both personal and professional in his own 2 Super Bowls. And welcome now to CBS Sports opening day coverage of the National Football League as the San Francisco 49ers come into Three Rivers Stadium to visit the Pittsburgh Steelers on what is for the moment a balmy day in Pittsburgh. The temperature 70 degrees, humidity 79%, and the chance of a little bit of rain later on in the day. Hello, I'm Jim Lampley, and welcome to this game which matches 2 franchises which have accounted for 6 Super Bowl championships, but both of which have questions to answer this season, particularly the Pittsburgh Steelers, who must try to reverse a decline that saw them slip to 6 wins and 2 losses a year ago. And here to work with me as we watch the answers to those questions begin to unfold, man who had some interesting days here in this stadium, the one-time great quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, Kenny Snake Stabler.
Have some fond memories here, Jim. Some good, some bad, but they are memories of a terrific rivalry we had with these people.
Well, Kenny, you were one of the great quarterbacks, and when you think of the San Francisco 49ers, you start, of course, with their great quarterback, Joe Montana.
No doubt about it, Jim. I think after Joe Walsh, Joe Montana has taken a look at the revamped secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers, that they're licking their chops to get in here and take Jerry Rice and test him early and all day.
The Steelers, on the other hand, partially because of that revamped secondary, will want to keep the ball on the ground.
Chuck Knox's theory is going to be ball control, always has been, and I don't see it changing now. He's going to, Chuck Noll, I'm sorry, we'll try to control the ball on the ground, keep Joe Montana off the field.
All right, well, we'll get a chance first to see how well Noll's Steelers can do exactly that as Ray Wersching prepares to kick it off for the San Francisco 49ers. And Lupe Sanchez, number 28, is deep to receive for Pittsburgh. Sanchez, who led the NFL or the American Football Conference in kickoff returns last year, and San Francisco in the last 2 seasons in which they have been matched against AFC Central Division teams and therefore played these Steelers, went on to win the Super Bowl. So Bill Walsh and his troops hope that this is the beginning of an omen of sorts for them. Sold out Three Rivers Stadium, full for the 119th consecutive home game, and the kick is short. Taken by one of the up men, that is number 47, and that is Bruce Jones. And Mark Malone is the quarterback who will lead the Steelers. Here's a look at the defense that he'll be going against. Along the front line for San Francisco, when they are in their basic 3-4 set, you'll see Kugler, Michael Carter, the nose tackle, and Dwayne Board. Linebackers, McCall, Ellison, Walter, and the best one is Keena Turner right outside. And the secondary brings Eric Wright back to the corner after missing almost all of last season with a severe groin injury. On first down, number 43, Ernest Jackson gets the call for the Steelers. Ricky Ellison made the stop for San Francisco after a short gain. A look at the Pittsburgh backs and receivers, Stallworth and Lips, 2 of the best in the game. Malone with Abercrombie and Jackson in the backfield. The front line for Pittsburgh has been reshuffled as right tackle Tunch Ilkin is out. Buddy Idlett starts after having been with the team for only 10 days. And Craig Wolfley starts for the first time ever at tackle after 7 years of playing guard. Second down, it is Jackson again, and he is met in the open field by Michael Carter, the nose tackle, along with number 99, Michael Walter. And that will bring up third down now for the Steelers with about 5 for the first down.
Just as we anticipated, Jim, 2 running plays immediately to start the game to try to establish that running attack, try to control the ball.
Nickel defense now on the field for the 49ers, and this, they believe, is their strongest defensive aggregate. And Malone has time. Gets away from one man, goes deep. He was trying to hit Charles Lockett, number 89. And the pass goes incomplete as Steeler fans howl for an interference call against Eric Wright. Lockett, for a moment, had daylight against Wright, but Malone was late in spotting it.
Came with their nickel people that time, Jim, and brought one of the defensive backs, put a little pressure on Mark Malone.
There's the man who will kick it away for Pittsburgh. He has been the regular punter now starting the third year and has not done as well as Chuck Noll would like for him to do. Don Griffin, number 29, waits at his 24-yard line. And this time Newsome hits a good one. Griffin at his 13. All the way across the 40 to the 43-yard line. 29-yard return, and now Joe Montana comes onto the field to lead the 49ers. Defense for the Steelers. No longer the steel curtain across the front. Willis, Dunn, and Nelson starting there. The linebackers are led by Hinkle and Merriweather on the outside. Hinkle, the only Steeler who went to the Pro Bowl last year. And the secondary brings Dwayne Woodruff back. He missed all of last year with a knee injury. There's a rookie at corner, Delton Hall. Flag down as Montana tries Jerry Rice against the rookie Hall right away, and the pass was too high. Referee Gordon McCarter calls the offside against Pittsburgh. So now the 49ers will get a chance at first
offside,
and 5 from their 47.
Lined up in the neutral zone, first down 5.
A look at the 49er offense. Cribbs and Craig the setbacks. Mike Wilson gets a start ahead of the still recovering Dwight Clark at split end. Guy McIntyre starting for the first time today at guard. John Ayers, the longtime starter, was cut in preseason. Pass is complete to Rice this time, and he'll have a first down in Steeler territory at the 45-yard line.
Just as we anticipated, Jim, they come out and test this Steelers secondary very early. First play, try to get Delton Hall. You see Montana dropping back here, doing what he does best with the quick feet, moving around, improvising, finding Jerry Rice in the seam.
It was Woodruff who made the tackle on Rice. You see what kind of year he had last year. Picked off. Dwayne Woodruff.
Here you see trying to get Jerry Rice on Dwayne Woodruff. Seems to be fully recovered from a knee injury. He throws the ball somewhat behind him. Woodruff steps in front, makes the interception. You see the guys jumping in front to try to get a block. Great field position for the Steelers.
24-yard return for Woodruff, and the Steelers have it at the 40-yard line of San Francisco. Jackson. It will be 2nd and 9. Dwayne Woodruff missed all of last year with a knee injury suffered in preseason against the Dallas Cowboys, and his presence is felt on only the 3rd defensive play of this season for the Steelers as he made the pickoff of the Montana pass. This time Jackson has a hole and a first down. Ball came loose and is recovered by a Steeler. Walter Abercrombie there to cover it, and he preserves the first down for Pittsburgh.
Here's establishing the running game, still with a little misdirection to Ernest Jackson around Craig Wolfley's side. You see Buddy Adelette leading. They pin everything inside. Ernest Jackson gets the first down, then fumbles the ball, but there's a Steeler recovery.
It was Ronnie Lott who locked the ball loose, but Abercrombie got it for Pittsburgh. First down at the 24. Trying to go to Lips. And already the fans here begin to boo the much maligned Mark Malone.
This is the way that Mark Malone has to play, Jim. He has to have a little ball control. They have to get some running going and give him the opportunity to pick his spots to throw. There seemed to be a little indecision on the receiver's part there, but they're starting out just the way that they need to with some ball control.
A year ago, the Steelers got off to a 1-6 start, during which time Malone completed only 40% of his passes. He was revived down the stretch. A little too wide for Lips, and now it will be third down. 49ers bring their nickel defense onto the field. If he can win today, Chuck Noll breaks a tie to become the 5th winningest all-time coach. He's locked up right now with Paul Brown at 170 wins. Again off the hands of Louis Lips. And that one, though a little behind Lips, Kenny, might have been a catchable ball.
I think the thing you see here that makes this possible is watch, you'll see Mark Malone step up in the pocket. Right here, he steps up in front of everything, gives Lips time to find a spot in there. The ball's a little behind him. It should have been completed. He should have caught the ball. A better throw would have been a completion.
So Malone is 0 for 4, and now Gary Anderson will try a 42-yard field goal. Misses. Steelers squander a scoring chance. So San Francisco will get the football outside its 30-yard line. We'll be back in a scoreless first quarter. Francisco 49ers now begins his 9th year with this football team. In the 1980s, only the Redskins with 69 and the Cowboys with 68 have won more regular season games in the NFC than have the 49ers with 67. But there are questions to answer after last season's playoff blowout by the Giants.
I thought it was interesting that he thought the blowout by the Seattle Seahawks, the last preseason game, was more important, and probably because it was so close to the regular season.
Montana on first down has Mike Wilson for a pickup of about 10 yards.
As we said from the top, they're going to test the secondary. You see Mike Wilson split out wide. It's a real quick slant pattern. He throws the ball between the passing zones between the linebackers for a good gain.
And interestingly, Snake, that was the same play on which Woodruff made the pickoff to end the last 49er possession.
Much better throw. The interception was thrown a little bit behind him.
Setbacks are Rathman now and Cribbs as Craig gets an early breather. And that was Mike Merriweather who made the stop on Cribbs after a good gain. Pickup of 8. It will be second down 2.
Good first down play. Creates a good short yardage situation. It gives you a much bigger variety of plays to work with on a short yardage situation like this on second down.
Double tight end set. Ron Heller and John Frank both in the game now for San Francisco. And that is number 28, Cribbs, with the football, and Robin Cole stops him, but not before Cribbs has a first down across the 45 to the 46. Now, theoretically, the 49ers are in their rehearsed sequence of plays right now.
They are. They have a script series of 20-25 plays. The only thing that will take them out of that script series is an extreme long yardage type situation. You see Bill Walsh with his script, but extreme down and distance will take him out of that.
Is the rookie number 35, Delton Hall.
Here's the handoff. The thing that makes this happen is watch the hit by Mike Merriweather, number 57, right there. Shakes the ball loose, pops right in Delton Hall's hands. Nobody around him. Touchdown.
Anderson's kick is good. And for Delton Hall, the second-round draft choice out of Clemson. Key rookie now on the Steeler team. What a way to begin his NFL career. Delton Hall, the rookie cornerback. The Steelers have gone on top of San Francisco 7-0. Gary Anderson now prepares to kick it away as you look at the man who just scored the touchdown returning to the field to take his place on special team coverage for Pittsburgh. Deep for San Francisco, 3 men: Joe Cribbs, Harry Sidney, and Terrence Flagler. And this is Cribbs.
This is the very guy the 49ers were going to pick on, Delton Hall. He burns them by being in the right place. But watch Merriweather step inside of Guy McIntyre's block, put his hat right on the ball, pops up in Delton Hall's hands. Nobody in front of him, and that gets it done.
The Steelers wanted help in the secondary going into the draft. They drafted Rod Woodson of Purdue, #1. He was expected to start at the right corner. Woodson hasn't signed. He's in Europe running hurdles. Delton Hall got the job. Montana. And when Montana gets in trouble these days, he looks for number 80, Jerry Rice.
Little play pass action here, going to get rid of the ball quickly, gets in a little trouble, but this is what he's best at, using those quick feet, getting outside, improvising, and finding those receivers. He finds Jerry Rice for a nice game.
Second down, a yard to go. 2 tight ends in the game for San Francisco. New ball coming onto the field. The ball is marked exactly at the 35-yard line. Montana in the game, 3 for 4 so far for 26 yards with the 1 interception by Woodruff. Craig, and this time he has both arms wrapped around the football. And the first down. Redskins on top of Philadelphia early. Bengals, chosen by many as the favorites in this AFC Central Division, leading Indianapolis. First down now for the 49ers at their 37. The Steelers showed an ability last week against the Giants in the final preseason game to stop the run. That time Cribbs got a couple.
The 49ers, it's too early for expect them to get out of their game plan. They're going to run enough to keep that front honest, but you can bet that Joe Montana is going to keep the ball in the air.
Second down, 8. 3 wide receivers in the game now for San Francisco as Dwight Clark comes onto the field. And Clark momentarily had the catch at midfield before he was rocked by Woodruff.
Same little slant pattern they've been trying to hit, working on Dwayne Woodruff. You see Dwight Clark drive him off and cut right behind Mike Merriweather, trying to find that seam. Well thrown ball, but a tremendous hit by Woodruff. Shakes it loose.
Clark never fully had control of the football, so now it is 3rd and 8 for San Francisco, and again 3 wide receivers. Steelers showing blitz, and they have it. So the 49ers have been unable to get untracked. Turnovers on first 2 possessions, and now as Montana goes off, Max Runiger comes on to kick it away. Number 83 deep for Pittsburgh, Lewis Lips, one of the most dangerous punt returners in the NFL. Flag down. Lips got away momentarily and took it to the 25. The flag is back at the line of scrimmage. And it is against the 49ers.
Ineligible downfield, number 57 on the kicking team. Penalty declined, first down.
Linebacker Kevin Dean was downfield too fast. And with the Pittsburgh leading 7-0, we'll be back. Pittsburgh, where the Steelers, on the strength of a 50-yard fumble recovery by Delton Hall, lead 7-0. And perhaps the biggest beneficiary of that early touchdown will be Mark Malone.
The thing that they like about him, Jim, is he stays within the game plan. Extremely intelligent quarterback, studies an awful lot, and they're playing the type game that he needs to play.
Better from in front than from behind. Ernest Jackson on first down has a couple. Pete Kugler made the stop along with Keena Turner for the 49ers. Last year, Malone got off to a horrendous start, was much better down the stretch, as we mentioned earlier.
Talking to Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, the thing that they really liked about Mark Malone was the fact that he studies so hard, can get you in and out of bad plays at the line of scrimmage.
There are the numbers from last year's turnaround. Malone, the one-time #1 draft choice from Arizona State. Against the blitz, gets rid of the football to John Stallworth. And Stallworth, who begins his 14th year as a Steeler today, has his first catch of the day. Flag down back near where Malone released the football.
How many times have we seen him do this? Here you see Mark Malone backing up, gets a little pressure, gets rid of the ball, and there you see John Stallworth making the catch, getting his body between the defender and the ball. And he's done that an awful lot.
And they're going to call number 94, Charles Haley of San Francisco, for a late hit on Malone.
Here's San Francisco's designated pass rusher, 94, hitting Mark Malone after the ball has been delivered.
Tough call. The rule says that if he's 1 step away, he's allowed to hit him. If he's 2 steps away, he's not.
All they can do to protect the quarterback, I'm for it.
That figures. On first down, Abercrombie has the football across the 50. So the 15-yard penalty was a big boon to Pittsburgh as they've moved the ball now to midfield. Carlton Williamson came up from strong safety to make the stop on Abercrombie.
Last 2 first down series, Jim, they've run the ball on first down, and they didn't gain any yards last series. They didn't gain any yards this series. They need to get good plays on first down to create the short yardage situations. They don't want to get into a passing contest with this team.
Second and 10. The football away. Carlton Williamson was there to defend against Preston Gothard, the tight end. And let's see what this flag is for.
Pass interference. Number 27 defense. Spotted a foul. Automatic first down.
So they accept the pass interference call, and with it, the automatic first down.
Nice job on Mark Malone's part to get rid of the ball under heavy pressure. Nice job on Gothard's part to hang on under being harassed by the defensive back. But the automatic first down is the decision.
This time Malone misses Abercrombie down the middle. And that's precisely the kind of miscue that Malone is all too capable of. He makes 2 difficult passes in a row and throws them perfectly, has an easy one and misses badly.
The very thing he has to do is make the obvious play. Throw the ball to the receiver that's wide open like that, but he makes the plays under pressure, but he needs to make the easy play.
He began his career in the National Football League playing as a wide receiver for the Steelers, and in fact holds the Steeler record for the longest pass reception.
Great athlete, tremendous speed before he had the knee injury.
On 2nd and 10 from the 43, Abercrombie falls down. And that time he was just trying to save the ball on the rough handoff from Malone, and now it will be 3rd and 12.
Precisely the situation that they do not want to be in. They get the 3rd down, long yardage situations, gives the 49ers an opportunity to bring in their designated rushers, and this is when they put the pressure on the quarterback.
The Washington touchdown, incidentally, was a Doug Williams pass to Art Monk. Jay Schrader, we're told, has been taken from the field for medical examination. Early start by the 49ers, and now we'll await the call.
Ball start, 73 offense.
Well, that's Wolfley, who is playing at tackle for the first time after 7 years at guard.
Third down, 17.
They've been real pleased with Craig Wolfley's play. Played very good at left tackle against the Giants in the last preseason game, and has probably won himself a job right there.
49ers with the nickel defense in. Their best pass rushers on. Jeff Stover, who just signed 2 days ago. Charles Haley, number 94, is in there as well. With time, Malone hits Stallworth, and he nearly has his head taken off by number 46, Tom Holmoe.
Fourth down, 17.
Here you see Malone delivering the ball. It's a little bit low, makes John Stallworth have to bend over for the ball, but you see the defensive back timing it perfectly. Good hit.
Griffin to receive.
And Newsome comes on to punt it away again for the Steelers. Griffin is at his 10-yard line for San Francisco. Again, Newsome got a lot of foot into it, and this one goes into the end zone. Steelers would like to see him pin it inside the 10 a little more often. So give Newsome credit for a 50-yard punt, but he knows not to be happy with it. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where in the first quarter, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on top of the San Francisco 49ers, 7-0. The touchdown, a 50-yard fumble return by Delton Hall. And just as there are obvious questions about the Steelers' Mark Malone, there are more subtle questions, Ken Stabler, about Joe Montana.
Been talking to Coach Walsh yesterday. There seemed to be some concern on Joe's ability to get the ball down the field, to throw the deep pass to Jerry Rice. Joe's gained 10 pounds in the offseason, seems to be a little stronger in his upper body, but so one of the things he has to do is to make the big play down the field, throw the ball deep.
On first down, Cribbs got a yard. It will be 2nd and 9, and it's worth remembering, of course, that Montana ended last season in a New Jersey hospital with a concussion, courtesy of the Giants' Jim Burt. Steelers have a chance to stop the 49ers again as San Francisco's still on the ground on 2nd and 10.
The reason they're probably on the ground, Jim, is because they're backed up. They really don't have very good field position. You really want to do anything back here. You don't want to turn the ball over with an interception or a fumble, so you try to get the ball out where you can do more things. Here we have an obvious passing down.
So Cribbs and Craig have combined to pick up 3, and it's going to be 3rd and 7. Rice in motion. Batted away. Might have been the rookie Tim Johnson, number 78, or Keith Gary, number 92. Johnson out of Penn State shows his excitement as he comes off, and Runiger will have to punt for San Francisco. Low kick, blitz at the 40, across midfield. Steelers will be in 49er territory at the 48-yard line. Fuller made the tackle for San Francisco.
This is the way Mark Malone needs to play. Needs a good field position. Try to establish the running game, and be in that midfield like this gives him a much bigger repertoire of plays to use in his arsenal, and get Ernest Jackson going running the ball, control the ball, keep Joe Montana off the field.
Malone is off to a difficult start. So far, it has not hurt the Steelers. Ernest Jackson. 8-yard gain.
You bet. Here you see the influence block by Mike Webster. He lets Carter take a side, and then lets Ernest Jackson cut right behind him. Nice game. You see Michael making the tackle here.
And Jackson, who once had 1,000 yards for the Chargers and later had 1,000 yards for the Eagles and had over 900 for the Steelers last year, has 6 carries for 29 yards today. Abercrombie retries for the first down on 2nd and short, and he did not get it. Keena Turner coming up underneath Abercrombie to hold him short of the first down. 1:45 to go in period number 1 at Pittsburgh.
Official timeout. Measuring the down.
Perhaps I spoke prematurely. They'll bring the chains on. I don't think he had quite enough.
The chain gang.
Well, I was right by an inch. Cutting it close.
Close enough.
So the Steelers will have 3rd and a fraction. Double tight end as Theo Young, number 80, comes on the field to join Preston Goddard at that position.
Both teams bring on their designated short yardage people.
A lot of field goals today around the league. Malone, big and strong at 6'4" and 222 pounds, presses forward for the first down.
And behind a great center in Mike Webster. It uses his strength, uses Webster's strength. The offensive line in the middle with Terry Long and Rinstra. They get a good push for the first down.
Webster, one of 3 Steelers who begins his 14th season in the black shirt today. If he can play this whole season, he will have played more games than any other player in the history of the franchise. His 11 starts behind Millen coming into today. This time Jackson is met at the line of scrimmage as number 50 Ricky Ellison came over the top, and it will be 2nd and long for Pittsburgh.
This is a situation that Pittsburgh does not want to be in, is the long yardage passing type situations. As you see, San Francisco, they bring in their designated pass rushers. Mark Malone is coming up with something here.
Haley, 94, will be to the bottom of your screen as he goes against Buddy Idolette, the right tackle. Malone gets rid of it, but never had a chance to get all the way out there to John Stallworth. Eric Wright had Stallworth wrapped up. Turner was coming on the blitz, and Malone is now 1 of 8.
Same type situation, 3rd and long. That's when the pressure really comes.
This will be the last play of the first quarter, in all likelihood. Well, no, it won't. As the clock stops with 4 seconds left in the quarter, Malone goes to 1 of 9, and the boos get a little louder in Three Rivers Stadium.
They're not getting to him, but they're making him rush everything. The pass before that, he threw the ball before he wanted to. This pass, the pressure put on by Kevin Fagan forced him to throw the ball before the receiver comes out of the break. It's the very thing we keep saying. They don't want to get in a passing contest with this team.
And Newsom, who kicked the last one into the end zone, will try once again to nail one deep in 49er territory. Steelers cover it at the 1-yard line. So that time Harry Newsom got the job done, and number 91 Greg Carr was down there to grab it for Pittsburgh. First quarter comes to a close. The Pittsburgh Steelers, on the strength of one big defensive play, lead 7-0. Stabler and Snake, the word from Washington is that Jay Schrader of the Redskins has a strained right shoulder. He will not be back, and that points up the wisdom of Redskin management in resisting the entreaties of many teams around the league, specifically your former franchise, the Raiders, to try to take away backup quarterback Doug Williams.
The Raiders had a big interest in Doug Williams to help their quarterback problem, but as you say, he's going to be needed now in Washington.
49ers have not been able to get into their offense. They start from the 1. Montana throws to Rice, and they have a quick gain of 15.
Down by
Lupe Sanchez tried to take Rice's head off, and now Rice is down.
It's the very thing that they're talking to Chuck Noll, that he wanted this team to be very, very physical, and here you see him dishing out a little physical punishment. Montana getting back quick, throwing this quick slant to Jerry Rice. And here's the pop. Bang. That'll make you sleep on your side of the bed.
You saw his neck wrenched sharply to the side, and now San Francisco trainers talk with Jerry Rice, one of the most valuable offensive commodities in the league.
No doubt about it. You have a guy that can run like that. I know when we were playing, we had Cliff Branch, and that great speed just dictates so much respect for defenses. It spreads the defense, and a guy that can run like Jerry Rice is just an awfully important asset to your offense.
But as you mentioned earlier, one of the questions is just how well can San Francisco utilize him. Montana, for all of his skills, is not known as a great deep passer.
We haven't seen him throw the ball deep today, but it's probably because that the Steelers are going to play a lot of zone-type defenses, protecting the young players in the secondary, make the 49ers throw the ball in front, be very conservative, and make them go on long, sustained drives.
You saw Rice go to the sideline. Dwight Clark has come on to replace him. On first down, Roger Craig tries to get outside and has a pickup of about 4 to the 19-yard line. Brian Hinkle there to make the stop for the Steelers. Hinkle, number 53, an underrated player, the only Steeler to go to the Pro Bowl during last year's 6-10 season.
Joe Walsh was very complimentary of the Pittsburgh Steelers' front 7 people. Bill Walsh, I'm sorry.
Joe Walsh was very complimentary of their guitar playing technique.
Quite a singer.
Second down and 7. Montana to number 82, John Taylor. David Little made the stop.
Just a terrific pass from Joe Montana. This is the only place this ball could be thrown to be complete. Little play action to Joe Cribbs, and here he delivers it. Ball has to be out in front, throws it perfectly. First down.
And it was Woodruff who was chasing Taylor, as the little man from Delaware State got away. And now the 49ers underneath passing game begins to work as they move it across the 40 to the 41. This was Roger Craig. Little again with the stop. Steelers will have to become increasingly conscious now of the variety of receivers Montana will use.
They have a lot better chance of using all these people when he gets out like this to the 40, 45, 50-yard line. He's backed up in the terrible field position prior to this. He can't do those type things. Now he has the field position that he needs.
Double tight end on 2nd and 6. And the man with the football is the tight end, Ron Heller. And Heller takes it all the way across the 35 to the 33-yard line. Former free agent from Oregon has a chance with Russ Francis on injured reserve.
Joe Montana fakes the toss and has a naked bootleg. His tight end drives off, comes cross field, and Joe Montana is the best at this, at finding those people while he's running on the move. Ron Heller makes a reception, breaks a tackle, 1st and 10.
Heller is a 235-pounder out of Oregon State. Starting now with Russ Francis on the injured list. Montana gets it to number 28, Joe Cribbs.
This is the thing that Montana can do so well once he gets the field position we talked about. He spreads the ball around. He goes to Joe Cribbs, he goes to Heller, he goes to Craig, and then and puts the defense really on defense, not knowing where he's going. Spread the ball around, spread the defense.
That was a pickup of 7. It is 2nd down 3. To a certain extent, you can question the 49er running game, but also to a certain degree, this is their running game.
Yes, the short pass is a 5-yard pass, just serves as a 5-yard run. They use it as a running type situation.
Great stop by Lupe Sanchez. And earlier in his career, maybe Cribbs had a better chance to turn the corner there.
Here you see the handoff to Joe Cribbs. You see the guards pull out front. McIntyre, Randy Cross. You see Dwayne Woodruff take on the block to clear things. And here comes the hit by Lupe Sanchez. Bang, right there.
3 yards to go. Blitz. Short of a first down. Steelers did a good job. Picked up the blitz and managed to cover the release man. It was David Little, the inside linebacker, who was all over Craig as he caught the football over the middle.
Nice play by the Steelers, but that's the thing that Montana can do when he gets that field position. Spread the ball around, get him down in here for a score. He's got him in shape for a field goal.
So Ray Wersching will try to get the 49ers on the board from 43 yards out. And he does. So the 49ers move with their short passing game, get the field goal, and trail 7-3. Kenny Stabler in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers lead the 49ers 7-3, 10:08 to go in the second quarter. A little bit of a strange game. Pittsburgh's touchdown coming on a 50-yard fumble recovery return. 49ers turned it over the first 2 times they had the ball. Pittsburgh had it for more than 9 minutes in the first quarter, and this the key play of the game, Snake.
They say timing is everything, and Delton Hall's timing is perfect. Right place, right time. Picks up the fumble caused by Mike Merriweather. Ball bounces right between the 3 and the 5, and he takes it in.
Hall, the rookie corner out of Clemson, has not given up a completion so far in the game and has scored the touchdown. He's off to a great start. Now after the Wersching field goal, Lupe Sanchez tries to bring it back for Pittsburgh and gets it across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Ball popped loose. Officials will say that Sanchez was already down. Coming up next Saturday, CFA football coverage on CBS Sports will bring you Georgia against Clemson at Clemson, one of the toughest places to play in college football, live at 2:30 Eastern time. Perhaps Clemson's biggest test of the regular season. That is a team that some would regard as a dark horse to win the national championship.
Look forward to taking a look at Lars Tate, running back for the Bulldogs.
4 touchdowns yesterday.
How about them dogs?
How about them dogs? And how about Mark Malone at 1 of 9 in the first quarter of this game? The give on first down is to Frank Pollard. And Pollard, coming back from knee surgery, shows that he has regained most of his abilities. Pickup of 9.
The thing they have to do is control the ball on the ground. Here you see Webster, you see Terry Long to the trap block. Pollard cuts behind him for the nice gain on first down. Now they've created those short yardage situations on second down. Ideal way to play it with the Chuck Noll theory.
Second down, short yardage. A lot of teams like to go deep on this down, not Pittsburgh. They give to Ernest Jackson. He has the first down across the 45 to the 46. Michael Walter, the second consecutive play, made the stop for San Francisco. The Steelers, in their running game, almost unique in the NFL, aren't they, Kenny?
No doubt about it. Probably trap more than any other team in the league, and their guards fit that mold perfectly. Terry Long, short and stocky. Their left guard, Rinster, short, stocky, and strong. Perfect for this type of offense.
Long at 5'11" is the shortest offensive lineman in the NFL. One of 10 as Malone misses Lips on first down. Again, he was late delivering the ball.
Little play action here to try to get the ball out to Lewis Lips. They've got a play action pass on first and second down as long as they're running the ball well on first and second down, which they're doing.
Second-year cornerback Tim McKyer was there to cover for San Francisco. When you look around that 49er secondary, he's the obvious target. The other corner, Eric Wright, is one of the best in football when he's healthy, and he appears to be right now. Play fake on second and 10. Malone going deep. Overthrow. Again, Lips the intended receiver, and now he's 1 of 11.
1 of 11, but still in the game. He's in good shape. Thing he needs to do is to hit a few of these. Throw something short. Throw something underneath. Build his confidence up some.
Well, we quizzed Chuck Knoll on the subject of Mark Malone the day before yesterday, and he was intense in his defense of Mark Malone.
He thinks that Mark Malone is taking a bad rap. He thinks he's a perfect quarterback for this offensive philosophy. He stays within the game plan. He's able to get in and out of plays at the line of scrimmage. Intelligent quarterback. He's very defensive of Mark Malone.
3rd and 10. Stallworth in motion to the inside. Malone wants him and has it. Into San Francisco territory at the 37-yard line. Second catch of the day for John Stallworth. Fuller made the hit, and the 14-year veteran is down.
Mark Malone gets good protection here. Drops back, shuffles his feet a little bit to buy a little bit more time. Steps up in the pocket, lets John Stallworth run, and delivers a ball right on the money. You see the hit by Fuller, 6'4", 220 pounds. Very, very physical defensive back.
And Tom Holmoe was the second man there to make the hit. We'll be back after this. Passing game is number 82, John Stallworth. And now after an 18-yard catch and a Steeler first down, Stallworth, with the wind knocked out of him, is on the sideline. On first down, Mark Malone gives to Ernest Jackson for no gain. The key receiver for the 49ers, incidentally, is number 80, Jerry Rice. And after a big hit on the last 49er possession, Rice has been taken to the locker room to have his left leg retaped.
John Stallworth is the type receiver. They say he's lost a step, but he's the kind of receiver that can afford to lose a step. He now relies on his experience and his knowledge of the game, his knowledge of the defensive backs.
And he has just come onto the field. He has made the only 2 catches today for the Steelers. Jackson again with a little bit of a hole and a short gain down to the 32-yard line. Michael Walter and Keena Turner, a couple of linebackers there to make the stop for San Francisco. At the 32, the Steelers are not yet in field goal range for Gary Anderson. Philadelphia with the touchdown. Again, in case you've just joined us, Washington Redskins starting quarterback Jay Schrader has been taken off the field for medical examination. Reported strained right or throwing shoulder. Doug Williams now quarterbacking for the Skins. Mark Malone on third down for Pittsburgh. And the Steelers are in business. Merrill Hodge, a rookie running back from Idaho State, has a 27-yard gain inside the 5-yard line.
The thing that makes this work, you'll watch John Stallworth will come underneath. See him coming underneath right there. It's clearing things out. Lets the running back run right down the seam. Wide open. Nice catch. First down. They used John Stallworth as a decoy that time. Worked very well. Cleared out everything for the running back.
Merrill Hodge made this football team largely on his special teams play. That time from scrimmage, he had a big catch. Malone still has the football. And number 27, Carlton Williamson, batted it into the air. Big play.
The play looked like it was designed, some kind of bootleg to with Mark Malone trying to get outside. But the thing that messed the play up was the fact that the receiver, the tight end on that side, or Weegee Thompson on that side, was held up and didn't get a free release.
That gave Williamson the chance to get up into Malone's face. Second and goal at the 4. Jackson is met and stopped. 49, Jeff Fuller, one of the biggest defensive backs in football at 6'2" and 216, met him head on.
Plays like a linebacker. They bring him in down the goal line. He's 6'4". Here you see the Steelers trapping game. See Terry Long blocking back on the nose guard, the handoff to Ernest Jackson. But here comes that big 220-pound safety, bap, right in the middle.
Third down. Touchdown. San Francisco 49ers failed to cover the tight end, Preston Gothard.
Designed rollout, Mark Malone out in front, out behind Ernest Jackson and Terry Long. Designed rollout, its tight end slips in behind everybody for the touchdown. Designed play where Mark Malone gets outside behind the blocking of Terry Long, and Ernest Jackson gives him time to get the ball to Gothard. Nice Alabama boy.
So the Crimson Tide of Alabama account for another touchdown. It's 14-3 Pittsburgh in the second quarter.
Roll Tide
presents a doubleheader day of NFL action starting at 12:30 Eastern time, as always, with the NFL Today at 1 o'clock. Many of you will see San Francisco again, this time taking on the Bengals in a rematch of Super Bowl at the end of the 1981 season. Then most of you will see Herschel Walker and the Dallas Cowboys try to topple the New York Giants. The rest of you will see Minnesota and the Rams. That's next Sunday here on CBS Sports. That's Preston Gothard.
Where did he play ball?
I think he played at Alabama. Third-year man, 6'4", 242 pounds. And he just scored a 2-yard touchdown from Mark Malone. Anderson's kick is taken by Harry Sidney. And Sidney, after a little indecision, manages to get loose on the sideline and get back to the 17-yard line. It could have been a lot worse. Give Mark Malone credit for some resiliency. 11-play drive, 2 big plays, one of them a pass to Stallworth, and the second the pass to Merrill Hodge that put them in scoring position at the 4. Then on third down, the TD pass to Gothard.
Great play. I think the important thing here is the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers have dominated the time of possession, which that's exactly what they wanted to do going into this game.
49ers have had only one sustained drive. Jerry Rice is back on the field. Craig. First down across the 28. Almost to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 12.
That's the very thing that they need to do to get back in the game right there, is to get the ball to Craig, spread the ball around to all the receivers, get out and get some decent field position where they can open things up a little bit, as they did the last possession. They drove down the length of the field and came out of it with a field goal.
And Snake, we saw how vacant the flat became when Rice took off from that position and headed downfield.
They have to respect that great speed, and he clears things out for Craig coming underneath.
Again, it's Craig. Great cut back to the inside and then upfield to the 37. Donnie Shell and Mike Merriweather made the stop for Pittsburgh.
That type pass serves just like a run. It's a very safe pass to throw. It's an outlet. It's a safety valve type thing where Craig catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, gets 6, 7, 8 yards, and create those short yardage situations. Very safe play, tough to defend.
One question for the 49ers. Can Roger Craig stay healthy now for a full season? In 1985, he accounted for over 2,000 yards. But in each of the past 2 seasons, he's been injured come playoff time. Craig again. And that's the reason why he gets a lot of work.
He does get an awful lot of work. He takes a pounding receiving the ball. He takes a pounding when he runs the ball. And as you say, Jim, it's awfully important, and especially after talking to Bill Walsh, that they need 1,800, 1,900 total yards out of this guy for them to be successful this year.
He got the first down up at the 40-yard line before Cole and Merriweather made the stop for the Steelers. Mike Wilson this time is close to midfield and across it into Steeler territory.
Audible situation. You can see Jerry Rice, the receiver, on this side, looking into Joe Montana to get the audible. He saw Delton Hall giving an awful lot of room on his side, and he'll take that type pass every time.
Montana regarded by many as the most accurate passer in the NFL. 12 of 15 on the day now for 125 yards. Steelers shuffling defenders as the 49ers start again with 1st and 10. Pittsburgh 49. Shell showing blitz and coming. Montana got it up and over to the tight end, but Heller dropped the ball.
Disguised very well by the Pittsburgh defense. Donnie Shell back off the ball 5 or 6 yards and then gets a running start at Joe Montana, making him release the ball. But Montana, as usual, gets rid of the ball out in the flats to save the sack.
And with the strong safety coming, Montana looked for the tight end, but you saw two Pittsburgh linebackers pick him up.
Design-type defense. Brian Hinkle is a very good cover man as far as the linebacker is concerned, so they can afford to send Donnie Shell and cover the tight end with a linebacker.
Two tight ends in the game on 2nd and 10. And this is number 86, John Frank. And the former Ohio State star is stopped by Brian Hinkle after a pickup of about 7 yards. 49ers had a lot of hopes that John Frank would take over the tight end job from Russ Francis, but last year he had what amounted to him for a miserable season.
Absolutely, and like we said, we talked to Bill Walsh. He's very, very high on Ron Heller. Hopes that he can replace the great player in Russ Francis.
Frank has become the backup for the moment. 3rd and 3.
Safety.
Steeler blitz. Flag down. Delton Hall making the play on Rice. Motion call against the 49ers, and the Steelers will in all likelihood decline it. And San Francisco will again be forced to punt. So the 49ers have been able to move, but from deep in their territory and not far enough.
Absolutely. Bill Walsh shows a little bit of concern here. He's going to talk to Joe Montana, get their heads together and see what they're doing good and throw out what they're not doing so well.
Runniger tries now to pin the Steelers, and Lips makes the fair catch inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. So Pittsburgh, trying to protect what is now a 14-3 lead, will have it deep in their territory. At halftime, Brent in the studio with his guest Dick Vermeil. An update from Tim Ryan at the United States Open Tennis Championship match coming up later today, and a report on the NFL labor negotiations update. What do you think, Snake? We headed for a strike?
Well, they're giving out those $1,000 bonuses. I may loosen up this old left arm and come out.
You look pretty good.
Yeah, well, I could play if we had a month between games.
Mark Malone was 3 of 4 on the last Steeler drive. Chances are they'll try to move it on the ground to start with here. Ernest Jackson gets a hole and gets up the middle near the 15-yard line before Michael Carter was able to restrain it.
I think right along in here, Jim, what Malone would like to do is just get some first downs running, get the ball out. There's only 2 minutes left in the half. They're in good shape with the lead that they have, 14-3. You don't want to turn the ball over back here. Just get the ball out, first downs, eat up the clock, and go in the way it is.
And with the 2-minute warning coming now, Mark Malone will repair to the sideline to talk with Chuck Noll. It's been an eventful first half for Pittsburgh. They lead 14-3. Standing there on your platform and doing commentary with the wrong hand, just the way you threw the football. I think if you're the Steelers, you have to be extremely happy with the way things have gone.
I'm sure that they're very happy with the way they played, Jim. They're playing exactly the way they wanted to. They've controlled the ball. They've dominated time of possession. They haven't made any turnovers, and they're playing very physical defense.
Indeed, with the exception of only one drive, they have not played all that efficiently on offense, and yet lead 14-3. And on second down, 4 yards to go from the Pittsburgh 15. Dwayne Board made the stop on Ernest Jackson. And now the Steelers will be facing third down, short yardage. San Francisco calls timeout to stop the clock. We'll be back.
What's the longest lasting battery you can buy?
Pittsburgh faces third down, 2 yards to go. 49ers with 2 timeouts left and 1:55 on the clock would like to get another chance to score. Ernest Jackson may have it.
Important play for Pittsburgh here. Maintain control. They don't want to have to punt. Give the 49ers a good field position because there's plenty of time left.
And Jackson got the first down, moving behind Mike Webster, the 14-year veteran at center.
He's been a great player for a long time. All those the 4 Super Bowl years, he's been a standout center for just a number of years. Tremendous player, has a big impact on the younger players. Lives in the weight room, as you can see.
At 6'2" and 260, one of the smaller centers in the NFL. It was a big play by Jackson to get the first down. Malone throwing, and Pete Kugler, the fifth-year veteran out of Penn State, knocked it down. What a play it would have been for San Francisco if Kugler could have held on.
Be real careful doing that sort of thing backed up right where they are now. I suggest keeping the ball on the ground, try to keep that clock running, and go into halftime with the 14-3.
Malone is now 4 of 16 in the air. I think if you had told Chuck Noll before the game that his quarterback could go 4 of 16 in the first half and he'd lead 14-3, he might have thought you were a little loony. Make it 5 of 17 as Lewis Lips gets his first reception of the day. A 17-yard pickup out to the 36.
That should do what they wanted to achieve. I don't see them taking too many chances right here. If they could get the ball up around the 50-yard line, possibly stop the clock and try to do something. Here, just let the clock run, take all the time that you can possibly take in the huddle, run the play, and try to run the clock out and go in at the half.
It was McKyer, 22, who was giving Lips too big a cushion on the far side of the field. Clock running now. Jackson again, and clearly, well, you got 11, 12 yards up to midfield, and now you start to think about a field goal.
Just what we discussed. Here's the thing. If you can get up around the 50-yard line with 30 seconds or so, you've got time to do something. Here you watch Terry Long, the little stumpy right guard, pull out in front of Ernest Jackson and lead him. Ernest Jackson, here comes Long, 74, leading Jackson, kicks a guy out. Jackson cuts behind him, gets the ball up where they can do something now. They take their time out, put their heads together, and try to come up with something to get them in possibly field goal range.
Well, you try and you try, but it is difficult to find if there is indeed an untold story about Ernest Jackson. 1,000 yards with the Chargers, 1,000 yards with the Eagles, a chance to gain 1,000 for Pittsburgh if he continues at this pace for a full season.
Don't know what the knock's been on Ernest Jackson, but every team that he's played with, he's been a valuable acquisition. He's gained 1,000 yards in several different places and is probably the strength of the Pittsburgh team now.
Certainly he and Abercrombie have given the Steelers their most effective running combination since the days of Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier.
Hate to think about those days.
Spent a lot of those days on your back. Nickel defense for San Francisco. They begin to think that the Steelers will pass. Malone to Lips. McKyer was late. Jeff Fuller made the stop. 12-yard gain. So twice in a row, they have gone to work on number 22, the left corner, Tim McKyer.
Nice smart play on a part of Louis Lips there. He understands they've only got 20-25 seconds left. He catches the ball. Instead of trying to gain yardage, he dives for out of bounds, get that clock stopped, and then get it over the sidelines. They put their heads together, try to get a field goal out of this.
And Malone is a little bit more respectable now at 6 for 18. In fact, since he was 1 for 11, he's been 5 of 7.
That's what he needs to do, Jim, is to complete some passes and build his confidence. He's got a nice lead. He's starting to complete some things. And Mark Malone has to play with a lot of confidence, and he has to play ahead. He's not a very good quarterback playing from behind.
They need about 10 more yards to give Gary Anderson a chance at a field goal which would extend the lead. Stallworth in motion across the middle. Malone gets away from Keena Turner. Fuller knocks the ball down.
Those passes out for Stallworth. Incomplete.
Stallworth got held up as he tried to get across the middle.
Play really didn't have time to develop the way it should. A little pressure on Mark Malone, forcing him out of the pocket, and he didn't have time to sit back there and wait and let the play develop.
It will be 2nd and 10 from the 38. There are 17 seconds left.
Tight, John, tight!
Abercrombie dragged down from behind. Big play by Kevin Fagan. And the Steelers call timeout.
Here comes Anderson.
Anderson's going to try with the football at about the 33-yard line, so it would be a 50-yard try. John Renstra is down in the middle of the field for Pittsburgh. Trainers looking at him. Renstra, the first-round draft choice out of Temple a year ago, an All-America tackle in college, moved to guard by the Steelers. And they are already hurting in the offensive line as Tunch Ilkin, their best tackle, is out today with the flu and a sore back. Ray Penny, another veteran tackle, has been playing sparingly because of a groin pull. Anderson 0 for 1 on the day. He missed earlier from 42 yards. Now he will try from 50. He is the most accurate field goal kicker on record in the history of the NFL, but this one is probably beyond his range.
Morton Anderson is chasing him real close for the highest percentage. Here's the kick. Looks good.
He got it. Well, just as I said, it was beyond his range. He knocked it through with ease.
Very good series of downs for the Pittsburgh Steelers there, Jim. They had the ball inside the 10-yard line. They ate up as much clock as they could to try to get up the 50-yard line, got their timeouts called, and worked their way down in to give Anderson a chance to score for him. Nice series on Malone's part. Nice series on the entire Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Another big confidence builder for Mark Malone. And now Bill Walsh, who used this past week to remind his team of the blowout loss to Seattle in the last preseason game and expected that to motivate them, will have another chance to motivate them at halftime.
He was more concerned with the Seattle loss than he was last year's thumping by the New York Giants because it was so close to regular season.
Indeed, Walsh wants to believe that this team is capable of competing with the Giants and the Bears at the top of the National Football Conference. They've done nothing in the first half to indicate that that can be the case.
He told us yesterday that in order for them to compete with the Giants and the Bears and teams like that, that they had to play their very best to the top of their abilities. They're certainly not doing it today.
Ball was loose and tantalizing for the Steeler kick coverers, but Terrence Flagler, the rookie, finally fell on it. And that's the end of the first half with the score: Pittsburgh 17, San Francisco 3.
Curtain defense, and I'm sure Joe Green sat on your belly a whole lot of time.
No doubt. The reason he's getting the ceremony that he's getting here is because of the way he played against us. He slapped us around, treated me like a rag doll, pick you up and just shake you. There's a terrific dominant player, really influenced the way that we had to prepare for their team, as how could we handle Joe Green.
But of course, everybody said coming into this year that there was no more steel curtain and that the Steelers were in trouble. Nevertheless, they have dominated the first half here after getting the one big play on defense early in the game.
Delton Hall, the guy that the 49ers wanted to pick on. He's in the right place at the right time. You see Merriweather makes the hit. The ball pops right between the 3 and the 5. Nobody in front of him. Runs for the touchdown. Great start for a rookie player.
That made it 7-0 Steelers. The 49ers narrowed to 7-3. Then Malone, who was only 1 of 11 in the game, finally got going with this throw to John Stallworth.
Great players make great plays. You see John Stallworth coming around. The ball is delivered perfectly. He takes a good hit, but like you said, that is the thing that got Mark Malone going. He was 1 for 11 going into that.
He completed 2 more in that drive, including the touchdown pass to Preston Gothard, then threw well in the field goal drive that made it 17-3. The 49ers are going to have to come out and throw the ball.
I think that you'll see them change their game plan. Their game plan was to throw the ball coming in. I think Montana will come out, do the very same thing he did in the first half. Maybe hope for a little bit more success at that. Throw the ball, spread the ball around to Craig, to Rice, to Wilson. Throw the ball around, stay with the game plan. Too early to get away from it.
All right, so it is 17-3 Pittsburgh over San Francisco as we get ready for the start of the second half. And CBS Sports coverage of NFL football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
About the way things have gone. He's ahead. They're playing good ball control. They're moving the ball, and Montana has been forced to play at terrible field positions.
Anderson will kick it away for Pittsburgh, and the 49ers will get a chance to begin to redeem themselves with the football as we start the second half. them some breathing room across the 25 to the 27 as Montana has a final word with Bill Walsh and his backup, Steve Young.
And comes on.
I don't think they'll change much, Jim. Stay with that game plan. Throw the ball. I think one thing they may be a little concerned with is their third downs. They're 0 for 4 on third down conversions, and they've got to come up with something on third down to maintain control.
They trail by 2 touchdowns. The running game did nothing in the first half. They start with 2 tight ends to open the third quarter. And Montana immediately hits Mike Wilson at the 40-yard line. And for the first time all day, they have a completion against the rookie corner, Delton Hall.
Delton Hall burned him earlier for picking up the fumble, but they're not going to get away from the fact that he is a rookie, and they're going to try to match up their receivers, Rice and Wilson, on him. And here Montana gets plenty of pass protection, delivers the ball perfectly. You see Mike Wilson making the reception, Delton Hall giving him an awful lot of room.
Snake, you must have loved going against rookie corners yourself.
Oh, that's who I would try to find first, and take a guy like Cliff Branch who could outrun half the cars in the parking lot and put him on him.
Cribbs on first down gets just a yard or 2. Keith Willis made the stop for Pittsburgh. Could have played more often against rookie corners. You'd have had more jewelry, right?
Still be playing. But every time I looked up, it was Mel Blunt and Donnie Shell, people like that.
Louis Wright. Gain of a yard on first down, 2nd and 9. Again, the 49er running game did nothing in the first half. Their leading rusher in preseason was Steve Young. Montana over the middle to Mike Wilson. Number 53, Brian Hinkle, made the stop for Pittsburgh.
This situation for Joe Montana is he's been here an awful lot of times before. There's plenty of time left. You've got almost a full half to go. Just need some good field positions where they can do the things that are necessary. No reason to panic.
How frustrating is it for a quarterback when your running game is as flat as theirs has been today?
Well, you have to understand that you're going to have to carry the load throwing the ball and hope you get your good pass protection.
On third down, they try Craig. He goes nowhere. Brian Hinkle with the stop. Interesting call. They went with the run on 3rd and 4 after having only gotten 24 yards on 12 running plays up to that point.
A lot of times an offense will think that they can pop a trap or something in there real quick when all the pass rushes coming, the down linemen are coming after you. Sometimes you can pop a quick trap in there. In this case, no dice.
Runiger will kick it to Lips. And Lips has a chance. Gets away from the first man and then is swarmed at the 14-yard line. Torrey Nixon, number 20, downfield to grab him. 40-yard kick, 4-yard return. Pittsburgh leads when we come back. 19th consecutive NFL game. Only Washington and Denver have longer such streaks. The Steelers, of course, 55 years old, one of the oldest franchises in the National Football League. Bill Walsh's 49ers couldn't move it on their first possession of the second half. Now his defense prepares to try to attack a 49er or a Steeler offense that will move it from its 14-yard line. Abercrombie got away from Carlton Williamson, but then Ricky Ellison ran him out of bounds. And the Steeler offensive line, shuffled and reshuffled in preseason due to injuries, has suffered one more loss as John Renstra, the starting left guard and #1 draft choice of a year ago, is now out of the lineup with heat exhaustion, and rookie Paul Oswald of Kansas, listed as the backup center, has taken over his spot at left guard. Here's a look at Oswald getting his first NFL action. Malone's pass was knocked up in the air by Pete Kugler, number 67. That's the second time today that Kugler has gotten his hands on a Malone throw.
Brings up the 3rd and long situation. Bring in the designated pass rushers. Different fronts. Try to confuse some of the younger offensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Need to be careful right here. Really don't need a turnover. Don't give them anything cheap. Call something safe that may get you the first down, but don't take any chances.
3rd and 10. Ball at the 13. A rookie guard getting his first action at left guard. The right tackle has been with the team for 10 days. Tough spot. Malone cuts it loose, and Stallworth couldn't hang on. Jeff Fuller was there to cover John Stallworth.
It's when the 49ers are the best on the 3rd and long situations. They bring in Haley. They're the other designated pass rushers, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. That time they get to Mark Malone. Make him force the ball, make him throw the ball a little bit early, but he did the right thing. Keep the ball outside where Stallworth would be the only one that could catch it. And if they incomplete, punt it away and play defense.
And Malone begins the second half the way he began the first, with a couple of incompletions. Harry Newsome with his numbers on the day. Gets a good foot into it. Griffin at his 38. Has a wall. Flag down.
I think we may have a clip, Jimmy.
49-yard punt, 10-yard return. Actually an 8-yard return as he got it to the 46. Referee Gordon McCarter checks with the back judge. Illegal block by the 49ers.
Gordon will get it straightened out.
Well, he wants to be correct. He's not like us, Snake. He's not going to just wing it. He's going to have it down.
He doesn't get an instant replay, does he, or does he?
Not on this one.
Illegal block from behind. Number 20 of the receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That was the veteran defensive back, Torrey Nixon, who is guilty of the foul. It moves it back to the 36-yard line. The 49ers will start from there when we're back. Still scheduled to come along next here on CBS Sports after NFL football, the men's final of the United States Open Tennis Championship. Couple of Greenwich, Connecticut boys. Yvonne Lindell against Mats Wilander.
How was your tennis game, Jim?
Non-existent.
I look good in my whites.
I would look good if I put them on. On first down, Joe Montana rolls it in and out of the hands of Mike Merriweather. Intended receiver was the tight end Ron Heller. We should tell you that it is raining in the New York metropolitan area. But it is still the hope of U.S. Open officials that the rain will subside and that championship match can take place today.
Joe Montana buying a little time, steps up in the pocket, trying to get to tight end coming across, but he throws the ball right to Mike Merriweather. He'd sure like to have that one back.
Merriweather, with his quickness, is dangerous back there. Second down 10. Not much of a homecoming so far from Monongahela's own Joe Montana. This time he gets it to John Frank, and Frank has only a couple. So it will be 3rd and long for Montana, who has 32 friends here today. Complimentary tickets from him. It's also a big day for 49er ownership, as Ed DeBartolo Jr., who owns the team, is from nearby Youngstown, Ohio, and has a party of more than 600 people here.
Joe had to pay for all the tickets. He's playing this one for nothing.
There's a look at the DeBartolo box. Too tall for Jerry Rice. Runiger will come on to kick again. And the crowd begins to pick up a little bit.
Crowd's starting to get in the game, and that's the thing I remember the most about coming to Pittsburgh is you get behind these people, they tee off, lay their ears back, and come at you. Get this crowd behind them, they're awfully tough.
Well, they don't have Green and Greenwood and Holmes and White anymore. Runiger gets it off the side of his foot. Lips is going to catch it anyway. And he's rolled down at the 15-yard line. 46-yard punt. No return for Lewis Lips. Jeff Fuller downfield to cover for San Francisco.
In a game of field position, and the field position has certainly favored the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Montana stayed backed up. Here, Mark Malone's backed up a little bit. Don't want to do anything fancy back here. Just work the ball out and play for field position. You've got a 17-3 lead. No need to rush anything or do anything fancy.
You've got a brand new secondary for Pittsburgh. A shuffled and reshuffled offensive line, a quarterback who has struggled, and a 17-3 lead. On first down, Malone fakes and throws away from Abercrombie. He's 0 for 3 to start the second half. 7 for 23 in the game. And the crowd, which cheered moments ago, begins to boo again. The Saints may have something this year with Jim Mora. Bobby Hebert getting the start today, and they lead Cleveland 14-7 in the third. Tampa Bay apparently much improved under your old teammate.
Ray Perkins played with him at the University of Alabama. He's got a fine young quarterback to work around down there, and it looks like they're going to have some success.
And Chiefs lead San Diego. Malone under pressure. Goes down at the 8. Pete Kugler, number 67, the first man there. Ricky Ellison came on to wrap things up. First sack of the game for the 49ers.
Here's the long yardage situations causes all the pressure. You see Ellison coming, you see Dwayne Board coming, you see Kugler coming, and there's a designated rusher in Haley, and people all around him. Looks like a jailbreak, and they sack him. Creating a long yardage situation is the way that they do not want to play. I'm kind of surprised that I'm coming out throwing the ball the first 2 downs when they've had so much success with Ernest Jackson running the ball. Nickel
defense in the game now for San Francisco as Malone faces 3rd and 15. Gets a little time, and it's almost picked off. Into the hands of free agent linebacker George Cooper. A flag is down. Personal foul against the 49ers, and that's a big penalty. And I believe the call is going to be against Jeff Fuller.
Jeff Fuller, very physical defensive player, extremely large for a secondary person, 6'4", 220 pounds, plays very physical, but this is not a typical Bill Walsh team. They're committing too many mistakes. They're penalizing themselves. They had the Steelers stop, and then the penalty gives them retained possession of the ball, and that's the thing that's killing them is ball control.
And the dejected Fuller walks off. He preserved possession for the Steelers. Gave Malone another chance. Ernest Jackson on first down has a gain of about 4. Webster clearing the way in front of Jackson. Michael Walter made the stop for San Francisco.
There's the anchor of the Pittsburgh line. Webster, 2 guards. Terry Long, great trapping set of guards and a great trapping center.
And Renstra, number 79, as you can see, is back in the game now for Pittsburgh.
Had a little heat exhaustion, shook it off, and he's back.
Begin to get a little more semblance of order along that offensive front. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. Intended for Charles Lockett, and Malone's look says it all. 0 for 5 in the second half. Haley was in on top of it.
In defense of Mark Malone, not a bad call, a play-action pass, because they had such success on first down. 2nd and 5 is not a bad down to play-action pass on, and the crowd's not going to give him a break.
Well, you've defended the call. How about the pass?
The pass was looked like you threw it.
Yeah, well, I'm not warmed up yet. 3rd down now. 6 yards to go. Nickel defense again on for the 49ers. Audible. Abercrombie. Holmo and Fuller there to make the play. So Fuller redeems himself a bit, and the Steelers will have to punt.
Steelers try to pitch the ball and get outside, and I really think that Walter Abercrombie, number 34, makes a bad cut. I think he should have cut right in behind Buddy Adelette, the tackle, and take the ball up the field.
Harry Newsome has had a good day kicking the ball for the Steelers. Don Griffin deep to receive for San Francisco. He's standing at his 30. Newsome drops the ball, gets away. And he has the first down. Across the 40 to the 42-yard line, Jeff Fuller knocked him out of bounds. Tim Mackay was the man who was in on top of Newsome. but who leaped to block the punt and therefore let Newsome get by.
Here you see Newsome waiting on the snap. McKyer gets free. He pulls the ball back down. When he sees the pressure to keep it from getting blocked, it bounces straight up. He picks it up. Everybody has run off to cover the kick. He runs down the sideline. Big play, keeps possession of the ball, and also gets some great field position.
So a cool-headed Newsome saves possession for Pittsburgh. And now the ball is at the 42. The Steeler running backs are tough, but they don't have a lot of speed.
They really have to get the good blocks in order for them to get outside. That's why most of their game is a trapping game inside, because that's where the strength of their running backs is inside. It takes an awful long time or a very well blocked play for them to get outside.
Ernest Jackson, 17 carries now for 71 yards. And therein lies one of the stories of the game. He has helped them to control the ball. Pickup of 2 that time. Malone gets rid of the football just as Charles Haley dumps it. And what a find number 94 Haley was in the 4th round out of James Madison last year.
A tremendous pass rusher. Here comes Haley, and here's Malone sitting back in the pocket waiting for it, and here's the pop. Not a real fun way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Charles Haley is 6'5", 230 pounds, can play down as a defensive end, can play up as an outside linebacker, can move along the front to different positions and rush the passer.
Also hits real hard.
3rd down and 8 against the nickel defense. Good play by Fuller. Stallworth the intended target. Malone 0 for 7 in the second half.
I'm a little surprised, Jim, that they come out and throw the ball as much as they have in this series, because they've had some success running with the ball and controlling the ball, then play passing on the short yardage downs. And the fact that they come out and air the ball out as much as they have is a little bit of a surprise to me.
Now here's the punter slash running back Newsome. 16-yard run the last time he touched the football.
Breakaway threat.
Griffin standing at the 20 this time. And he'll make the fair catch with no Steeler near him at the 18-yard line. A mental error there by Don Griffin.
No doubt about it.
The 49ers just are not playing good football. They trail 17-3. Tigers next Saturday. Meanwhile, today at Three Rivers, Steelers in a surprise lead San Francisco 17-3. And here, Stabler, is how alone Don Griffin was on that punt.
Bad mental decision right here. And he's nobody around him. It looks like he's out to practice early. And finally, some of the Pittsburgh players do make the picture.
So the 49ers start at their 18. Griffin could have easily gotten to the 30. And on first down, Belton Hall has an interception. And he fumbles it away. And Mike Merriweather picks it up. And the Steelers are going to have it.
Big play, man. Not a very well thrown ball by Joe Montana. If you'll watch here, he's got plenty of protection, delivers the ball, but the ball is behind Joe Cribbs. It's deflected, bounced up in the air. The guy that they wanted to burn, burns them again, picks it off, fumbles. Mike Merriweather right on top of the ball. Big play, man. Great field position for Pittsburgh.
Merriweather was dragged down at the 23-yard line. The Steelers start from there. Malone 0 for 7 in the air in the second half. They go to the ground with Abercrombie, and he is tripped up and dragged down.
Joe Montana would certainly like to have the last pass back. You can see the dejection on his face and a little bit of look of worry. Badly thrown ball by Joe Montana.
Montana is 16 of 24 in the game, but all those completions have had little effect. Malone 7 for 27. His team leads 17-3. So to a certain degree, it's not how much you do, it's when and where.
Here they come.
Make it 7 for 28. He did a good job that time just to get rid of the ball. Ronnie Lott and Michael Walter came up the middle together. It'll be 3rd down and 12 yards to go. They need to get the football to the 13-yard line for a 1st down.
Well, the crowd's on Mark Malone's case pretty good. Bubby Brister standing over on the sideline. They have real high hopes for this young man. Very strong arm, very confident player, and they have high hopes for him.
One-time minor league baseball player out of Northeast Louisiana. Nickel defense for San Francisco. 3 wide receivers for Pittsburgh. And a bad throw by Malone. Could easily have been picked off. Tina Turner was on top of Mark Malone. Washington leads 24-10 over Philadelphia in the 3rd quarter, but the Redskins have paid a price. Jay Schrader out with a strained right shoulder. Jess Atkinson, the kicker, dislocated his left ankle. George Rogers hurt his right shoulder and is out for the day. Meanwhile, the rest of the scores you see there, Detroit leading Minnesota, and some of these viewers will see Minnesota and LA next week. Gary Anderson extends the Steeler lead. As from 46 yards out, he is perfect. And as a result of the pickoff by Delton Hall, the Steelers lead 20-3. At the midway point of the 3rd quarter, as rookie cornerback Delton Hall of the Pittsburgh Steelers prepares to run downfield on kickoff coverage, he is savoring, Kenny Stabler, his first day in the NFL.
No doubt. All he's read in the paper since he's been here is how weak the secondary was, and here he gets an interception, he gets a fumble recovered, leads to 10 points. I'm sure he's enjoying this very much.
Joe Cribbs brings it back for San Francisco. The 49ers trailing 20-3 will have it at their 23-yard line. And of course, the irony of Hall's contribution against Joe Montana today is that he's playing in the cornerback position, which had been reserved for the man drafted ahead of him, Rod Woodson. But Woodson held out and is in Europe today.
Woodson's running track in Europe.
What'd you do on your first day in the NFL, Kenny?
Sat on the bench.
Hold a clipboard?
Hold the clipboard. Got splinters.
Did you ever drop it?
Dropped, no. Threw it.
At the coach?
Possibly.
He's in another broadcast booth today. On 1st down, Montana delivers the ball to Roger Craig, and Craig, normally sure-handed, drops it.
Rains, it pours.
Robin Cole was there on coverage, but Craig should have been able to hold that. Quick up, 2nd down. Play fake. And Jerry Rice has a 1st down for the 49ers at the 35. Donnie Shell knocked Rice out of bounds. Well, if you're Bill Walsh, you are not yet desperate, but you are concerned, I would think, and anxious for your team to get something going.
49ers really haven't challenged them downfield. The reason for that, they're playing predominantly zone defenses. They're going to try to make the 49ers go long distances and take what the Pittsburgh Steelers give them, such as this right here.
Good reaction by the Steeler linebackers. David Little and Brian Hinkle hold Craig to the gain of perhaps a yard. And indeed, if Walsh was disappointed with his team showing against Seattle in the last preseason game, then he should be even more disappointed with this.
No doubt. This is for all the marbles. This is the real thing, and his team really hasn't played very well. They haven't sustained any long drives. They've turned the ball over. Joe Montana's had interceptions. They fumbled. They penalized themselves. I'm sure the white-haired coach is a little concerned.
New England has moved on top of Miami. Montana on 3rd down has Craig. Or check it, that was 2nd down, and Craig is out to the 45-yard line before Woodruff stops him. He'll be about a yard short of the 1st down. So now they'll have 3rd and short.
3rd down and 1.
Steelers bring in their short yardage defenders. 49ers stick with 1 tight end. Wilson lines up tight on the near side. Cribbs breaks through and into Steeler territory with the 1st down. David Little with the tackle for Pittsburgh. been an unusual game. Mark Malone is 7 for 29 in the air for Pittsburgh, including 0 for 9 in the second half and 1 of 11 to start the game.
Excuse me, Jim. Defense has created all of their points with the turnovers, the fumble recoveries.
Steeler blitz by Shell. He's picked up. Rice is inside the 15-yard line. Lupe Sanchez made the tackle, but the free safety was late, picking up Jerry Rice.
Big play capabilities of Jerry Rice. Montana, this is the plays that he has to make. Right down the middle, they play a double zone, leaving the middle of the field open, right over the linebacker David Little's head for the first down.
Delton Hall finished the tackle off. Rice now with 5 catches for 75 yards on what has been a relatively quiet day for him. 32-yard pickup that time. Double tight end on first down from the 15. Bad throw by Montana.
Joe doesn't look like he's delivering the ball the way that he has in the past. He threw the ball behind the receiver in the previous set of downs to set up the interception. That ball was thrown awfully low, and that has been Joe's strong suit, is those quick feet, being able to move around and throw the ball on the run. And Joe doesn't look like he's throwing the ball with the same velocity that he did last year.
The big talk in the 49er camp was that Montana was stronger, 10 pounds heavier, would be able to withstand more punishment. Double tight end again on 2nd and 10 to Rice, and he's down to the 2-yard line. Dwayne Woodruff was there to make the tackle, but he gave Rice too big a cushion on the slant.
Down on this part of the field, a quarterback can anticipate man-to-man coverage. It's exactly what he gets, a short drop, and they run the quick slant into Jerry Rice. Bang, perfectly thrown ball. Have an opportunity to score right here. Be a big series of downs.
And as dangerous as Rice is, Woodruff has to play somewhere else other than with his feet on the goal line. He can't help you back there. 1st and goal from the 2. Craig is stopped short of the goal line. Keith Willis hit him first. He was moving behind the veteran offensive tackle Keith Bonhorst in his 14th year out of Minnesota.
Joe Montana needs to get him in right here. This puts him right back in the ball game. There's still a lot of time left. Short yardage situation.
Rathman blocking ahead of Craig, and he is short. Number 57, Mike Merriweather, made the play for Pittsburgh.
Talking to Bill Walsh yesterday, he said that their front people, their first 7 people were very, very physical and very, very tough. Here you see it. Here you see Mike Merriweather plugging the hole. There comes the linebackers. Bang, right there. Their first 7 people, Bill Walsh said, were a very physical group.
And Craig might have had a better chance if he hadn't tried to go up. The hole was there. Touchdown.
Great catch. Gutsy call, too.
Very big play by John Frank. 49ers badly needed to convert that opportunity.
Gutsy call here, a little play fake. Joe Montana puts the ball on his hip, lets the tight end Frank run. Great catch, adjusting the ball straight over the top of his head. Still gets his feet down inbounds. Terrific adjustment to the ball by John Frank.
Indeed, Hinkle couldn't have covered it much better. Now Wershing will try to narrow the lead to 20-10. You've got 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And finally, San Francisco has produced a touchdown. It is Pittsburgh 20, San Francisco 10. Next Sunday, CBS Sports presents a doubleheader day of NFL action starting at 12:30 Eastern Time, as always, with Brent Musburger and the NFL Today. Then at 1 o'clock, many of you will see San Francisco again, this time taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, the team they beat in January of 1982 at the Super Bowl. Then most of you will see Herschel Walker and the Dallas Cowboys try to topple the New York Giants. The rest of you will see Minnesota against the Los Angeles Rams in Anaheim. where the Snake and I will be. That's next Sunday right here on CBS
Get a
Sports.
chance to take a look at Jim Everett. Looking forward to seeing Coach Robinson again and seeing how his young quarterback's doing.
Everett, of course, is in Houston today with the Rams. Offensive coordinator Ernie Zampisi, down the coast for a long time in San Diego, is revamping that offense, and the Rams lead Houston 16-3. The Rams, of course, expected to provide competition for Bill Walsh and the 49ers in the NFC West, along with perhaps the Saints. Lupe Sanchez gets away from one man, gets to the 30-yard line, before finally there to make the stop is number 52, George Cooper. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the National Football League is prohibited. Dan Rooney, the managing partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He has to be happy with what he's seeing.
Ernest Jackson, picked up last year from the Eagles in a key Rooney acquisition, gets 8 yards before Michael Walter stops him for San Francisco. And Jackson is moving toward the 100-yard mark on the day. Pete Kugler is down now for the 49ers. Kugler's had a couple big plays today.
Gain of 8 yards, second down and 2.
Here you see Kugler, the left defensive end, number 67, putting on the pressure. Looks like he's tripped as he comes out of his stance, and you get those feet and those shoes caught in this AstroTurf. Something has to give, and most of the time it's an ankle or a joint of some sort.
Kenny, you played on grass in Oakland, on AstroTurf in both Houston and New Orleans. Which do you prefer?
Well, you know, I would, I just assume play on the grass. You play on this stuff out here, it's like playing out in the street. A lot of the players say that an awful lot of injuries are caused by this. It's been a subject, it's been a topic of the NFLPA as far as the players playing on it, trying to get all these people to convert back to a natural surface. And speaking as a former player, the players certainly don't like to play on it. Early in the season, it holds heat extremely. It's extremely hot to play on, and the rug burns, of course. I don't see any advantages to it except maybe when it's wet.
Management sees it as an economic issue. Would the players give up dollars to play on grass?
I think so. If you think about the injury situation, I think players may possibly give up dollars to play on it. It may lengthen an awful lot of players' careers.
Average length of an NFL career right now, very short. 3.6 years.
4 years. If you had to play against a real physical team year in and year out on artificial turf, have to play an awful lot of games within your division on artificial turf, I think it will cut your career short.
Second down, 2 yards to go now for the Steelers. Kugler limped off. Jeff Stover in the game replacing him has only been in uniform 2 days after an extended holdout. Ernest Jackson has the first down for Pittsburgh. And in addition to gaining over 80 yards, 83 for the game, Jackson has not bobbled the ball once.
Steady back. Fits perfect into Chuck Noll's offense. Fullback-oriented offense, trapping offense, fullback up the middle, off tackle. Ernest Jackson fits that role perfectly.
Chuck Noll trying to become the sole possessor of the 5th best record, or the 5th winningest record of any coach in the history of the league. He's knotted up with Paul Brown coming into today. Pollard is grabbed and pulled down for a loss back at his 38-yard line. So on first down, Malone, trying to just get a completion under his belt, did so, but for the loss of 4.
The thing he needs to do is get some kind of string of completions going, but ball played very well by Mike Walter, number 99, the linebacker for San Francisco, strung it out and made the play.
That man, Chuck Noll, will move into sole possession of 5th place if he wins today behind those 4, Hallis, Shula, Landry, and Curly Lambeau. Note, of course, that 2 of the men ahead of Noll remain active in the game, Shula and Landry. Nickel defense on 2nd and 14. Malone gets it away, and again, it is a bad throw.
Those long yardage situations will absolutely kill you. They bring in those designated pass rushers and Charles Haley, but on that particular play, they look like there seemed to be some mix-up on the receivers' parts. Mark Malone off to a slow start, 8 of 31, 85 yards, 1 touchdown, but the young man is ahead.
There's another look at Bubby Brister. It's unlikely that he will see action as long as the Steelers are ahead in the football game. It's unlikely that he would see action if they fell behind on this particular Sunday.
I agree.
3rd and 14. Malone has room, but won't get there. Stopped inbounds by Keena Turner at the 43-yard line, and now he'll be showered with boos as he comes to the sideline.
Talking to the offensive coordinators, Tom Moore for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they say the young man's got a real thick skin and handles things very well.
So that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: the Pittsburgh Steelers 20, the San Francisco 49ers only 10. And we now pause for a word from your local station. We bring you back now to begin the 4th period at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, where Chuck Noll is gunning for his 171st career victory and trying to get the Steelers off to an unlikely 1-0 start against the San Francisco 49ers as Harry Newsom prepares to kick it away for the Steelers. They have struggled badly on offense, particularly in the passing game, but lead 20-10. Don Griffin fields this kick and gets loose up to the 25-yard line. And San Francisco, which scored a touchdown on its last possession, will start from the 26. Coming up next, the men's final of the U.S. Open. Number 1 seed Ivan Lendl gunning for his 3rd consecutive title, going against the number 3 seed Mats Wilander. Lendl from Czechoslovakia, Wilander from Sweden. Both live in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's raining in the New York metropolitan area. Officials at the National Tennis Center nevertheless hope that the match can be played, and that'll be next right here on CBS Sports. Bill Walsh, a look of concern as his team begins the 4th period 10 points down. I'm Jim Lampley along with Kenny the Snake Stabler, and Joe Montana goes to tight end Ron Heller, and the gain will take it out to the 39-yard line before Donnie Shell made the stop for Pittsburgh.
Ron Heller talking to Bill Walsh. He was real pleased with Ron Heller. Said he had tremendous speed for a tight end, was an average blocker, adequate blocker, but had great speed as a receiver.
No huddle. Montana to Rice. And Rice is unable to make the tightrope catch along the sideline. He had the room in front of rookie cornerback Delton Hall.
Here you see Jerry Rice breaking outside. The ball is delivered a little bit late. Delton Hall hasn't even made the picture yet. He's given Jerry Rice an awful lot of room. Montana a little bit late getting that ball on target.
And you saw that the front foot touched the white sideline. That led to the incomplete call. So after the 19-yard pickup to the tight end on the first play, the incompletion makes it 2nd down 10. Dwight Clark on the field as the Niners go with 3 wide receivers. Montana in and out of the hands of Mike Wilson. Lupe Sanchez there to hit Wilson for the Steelers, and Sanchez has made a couple of big hits today.
Good. Montana getting good protection, steps up, gives him time to work. Ball is a little bit behind him, hit just in time by Lupe Sanchez, physical little player, knocks the ball loose from Mike Wilson.
It will be 3rd and 10 now for the 49ers. San Francisco beginning to almost completely forsake the running game, which has done nothing for them today.
No doubt. They've got to keep the ball in the air.
Gary almost with the false start. He got back. Wilson again drops the football. Flag down. Holding against the 49ers.
Well thrown pass that time by Joe Montana. Those safeties start coming up, making the big hits. Those receivers start looking for them.
Remember Vinny Testaverde?
Indeed.
Steve DeBerg has 5 touchdown passes today.
Steve DeBerg, can't count out those old guys.
Still remember Vinny Testaverde?
Oh, Vinny who?
Max Runniger kicks it off the side of his foot. Lynch takes it at the 21. Out of bounds at the 25. So at the 26-yard line, the Steelers, leading 20-10, will take over with 14 minutes to go. What has happened so far between the Steelers and the 49ers? Pittsburgh threw the ball well only briefly in 2 first-half drives, but Ernest Jackson's running has helped them to control the football. Delton Hall, a rookie cornerback out of Clemson, getting a start today, has created 10 points for the Steelers. First on this fumble recovery.
Great hit by Mike Merriweather. Ball pops out right between the 3 and the 5 for Delton Hall. Runs down the field. The player that they wanted to try to burn burns them. This play right here, you see the ball is thrown behind the receiver, Joe Cribbs, batted up in the air. Delton Hall picks the ball up and sets him up for field goal.
So the touchdown for Hall came in the first quarter and made it 7-0. And that last interception by Hall came in the third period and gave the Steelers a chance to lengthen it to 20-3. And now the Steelers must try to continue to control the ball with a quarterback who's been miserable.
Well, I think his players have to understand that he's been miserable and rely on the running of Ernest Jackson to control the ball for him.
Malone starts the offense at the 27-yard line and gives to Frank Pollard. And again, the trap creates a big hole for Pollard. And he has a first down and a pickup of 12 yards before Walter made the tackle. Trap blocking at its best.
Great trapping team, trap more than anybody in the league. Their guards, they get Terry Long and they get Oswalt in there. They get their great center Mike Webster blocking back. They trap people. They pop those big fullbacks, a fullback-oriented offense. Ernest Jackson and Pollard fit very well into that scheme, and they control the ball very well on the ground in the way that they have to play.
They have to trap because they do not have big, powerful drive blockers. The kind that you played behind with the Raiders, for instance.
Oh, you bet.
Malone loses the football, and Jackson falls on it for Pittsburgh. And Ernest Jackson makes another big play for the Steelers. He's
made them all day. He's approaching 100 yards. You see Ernest Jackson there. He's been the big play guy. Here it is, Malone taking the snap. Pollard goes into motion. There's a trap blocking in the front, but he drops the ball. Ernest Jackson in the right place at the right time. Interesting. Malone didn't even go down with him to compete for the ball. He just backed off and let Jackson handle it. You get it. Second down and 12 after the loss of 2. Jackson is dropped by Michael Walter, who's had a lot of tackles from his inside linebacker position. Dwayne Board was also there, and Pollard is hurt. Pollard seemed to be coming back pretty well from a knee injury, and here he suffers as like it might be a shoulder or elbow, Jim. Yeah, he's pointing to his sternum or to his shoulder blade, perhaps, on the left side as he talks to the trainers. Here's the replay. You see the pursuit. There you see Jackson turning the ball up. Ricky Ellison trying to make the play, and it looks like that Ernest Jackson runs right into him and hits him in the shoulder, knocks him around, or either falls on his shoulder as he goes down. The danger of downfield blocking. That's why you didn't do much of it, Snake. Very little. We'll be back. Pittsburgh, you see the time remaining in the football game. Pollard walked off the field. Continues to get treatment for a perhaps injured shoulder or collarbone. The Steelers with 3rd and 7. And Malone goes down. Charlie Haley there for the second 49er sack. Here's the pressure on Mark Malone. It's Charles Haley going over the top of Buddy Adelette like a pickup over a rooster. Just pushes him right back into the top of him. There's absolutely nothing Mark Malone can do. It's just eat the ball. Buddy Adelette is just, they run straight over the top of him. The Steelers have been able to run behind their revamped offensive line. They have not always had good protection for Malone. So on the long 4th down, Harry Newsome will prepare to kick again. He's had a good day. But that punt was short. Griffin came up fast, made the fair catch. 49ers will have good field position at their 34 after the 34-yard punt. Eagles have tied the Redskins. In case you joined us late, Schrader hurt and out. George Rogers hurt and out. Place kicker Jess Atkinson dislocated his left ankle, out. Cleveland and New Orleans tied at 21. The Redskins are paying a price.
That game was tied. Cincinnati leading the Colts in the fourth quarter. They play the 49ers next week. Tampa Bay rolling. Steve DeBerg has 5 touchdown passes in that game. Jets struggling against Buffalo, 17-14 in the third. Vikings next week in Anaheim to play the Rams and leading Detroit today.
49ers need to get something going, Jim. As they're to run out of time, they've got to have 2 scores. I think we got a late hit on Montana.
Definitely a late hit on Montana. And number 93, Keith Willis, is not at all happy about the call. After Craig made the catch and got a couple of yards, the flag flew, and it's going to be 15 against the Steelers. And that's the first break of that kind.
Roughing the passer, number 93 defense. He butted up with his head down.
It's really the first break of that kind that the 49ers have gotten.
All those breaks have gone the Steelers' way. This, like you say, the first break they've had, the first tight penalty that has helped them maintain control of the ball and get the ball up in field position where Joe Montana can do something, and he needs to do it quick. He's got to have 2 scores with 11 minutes to work.
Slowly, but perceptibly, the atmosphere of the game begins to change. Fake. Pickoff. It changes again. Merriweather almost broke free.
Big play. Merriweather's been the big play guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense for a number of years. This is no exception. You see Montana's hurried, throws the ball, is picked up, is tipped up in the air. Mike Merriweather picks it off, makes a nice run. Looks like a big fullback running with the ball here, breaks a couple of tackles.
Heller was standing still. Montana expected him to keep running. They are new to each other. That created the interception. Jackson on first down works for a few yards.
Here's the pressure that Joe Montana gets on the last play. Little play fake going up the middle. Here comes the pressure. Forces him to throw the ball a little bit before he would like to. As a result, not a very well thrown ball. Tipped up.
Well, that play fake isn't going to hold too many people up when you've only rushed for 34 yards in the whole game.
I don't understand the play fake. I think that they ought to just drop back and throw the ball. Like you say, they haven't run the ball very well. A play fake's not going to hold anyone.
3 interceptions. And the fumble recovery. 2 of those turnovers credited to Delton Hall, the rookie cornerback. And Merriweather got that one. Malone with a big throw to Lewis Lips. Only his second completion of the half and the first one to go downfield. $16-yard gain.
Looks like Tim McKyer goes for the interception, takes a little bit of a chance here. Malone delivers a well-thrown ball. There he takes a chance jumping in front. Louis Lips makes the play, turns it into a first down.
Carlton Williamson knocked Lips out of bounds. When you hear the sound Lou here, it is not a boo. It is for Louis Lips. This time Jackson's hemmed in. Ronnie Lott finally there to make the stop. It'll be a loss of a couple, 2nd and 12. 49ers really need to hold tight here.
Bill Walsh searching over his script, searching over his game plan, trying to find something that'll work. They've hurt themselves with interceptions. They've hurt themselves with penalties. Not a typical Bill Walsh game.
Coming into the game, you had to wonder, are the 49ers a rising sun headed back to the Super Bowl, or a setting sun, a team finally in decline after the glory year?
A lot of people think that all these 15 returning players may be starting to age and hurt this team somewhat.
15 players who were on the 81 Super Bowl champs. That man, not one of them. That second-year man, Charles Haley, starting to make big play after big play for the 49er defense.
Very versatile. No, I think it's just, I think what we have here is I think we have a naked bootleg on Mark Malone's part, but Charles Haley's a very versatile player, can play linebacker in defense. He rushes the passer. Naked bootleg on Malone's part. Read very, very well by Charles Haley, who makes a play. Terrific young player.
3rd down, 14. Malone in the second half is 2 for 12. Stallworth almost picked off. Holmo had a chance to take away the field goal try. Couldn't hold it.
Here's the play. They run off Louis Lips and try to bring John Stallworth underneath. He sits down. The ball's a little bit late. Here you see Holmo come in, make the play.
And with that play being replayed on the scoreboard here, the crowd cries louder than before for interference. Anderson will try from 45 yards out. He has hit 2. Make it 3. And now the 49ers need 2 touchdowns. We've got 9 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. The Steelers trying for an upset.
Giving that extra effort makes winners.
With Ken Stabler in Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. 9 minutes, 8 seconds remaining. The Pittsburgh Steelers leading the San Francisco 49ers 23-10. Errors by San Francisco, 4 turnovers in the game, which have led to 13 Steeler points. Part of the story. The Steeler running game, the absence of the 49er running game, another part of the story.
Steeler defense has forced them into turnovers. They've thrown a couple of interceptions. They fumbled the ball. They penalized themselves out of drives. Steelers are playing a very physical brand of defense and causing the turnovers, and they've got the crowd involved. They're playing some jumping music, and they're having a good big time here.
That is Joe Cribbs, who awaits a kickoff from Gary Anderson. Anderson has produced 3 field goals, which account for part of the Steeler lead. Cribbs pops it up at the 22. They're going to say that the ball was dead. Big hit downfield by Greg Carr, number 91, a reserve linebacker for the Steelers. Steeler defense and special teams starting to hit with enthusiasm.
Talking to Chuck Noll, he said the thing that he saw most in training camp and preseason was the fact that they were going to be much healthier and they were going to play much more physical than they did last year.
And you see the veteran running back, Joe Cribbs, Auburn, Buffalo, Birmingham of the USFL, still down. In the preseason, the 49ers could not mount a running game with Roger Craig and Joe Cribbs. Bill Walsh did not seem terribly concerned about that yesterday. He claims he does not believe the preseason is an accurate indicator of what your team is going to do in the season. Nevertheless, what they didn't do on the ground in preseason was an accurate indicator of what they wouldn't do today.
Absolutely. They haven't run the ball at all. And Bill Walsh relies on his passing game on first down to get the short yards to Craig and create the short yardage situations. But they haven't done that today. Montana's been off a little bit. Pittsburgh Steelers have stuffed their run. They penalized themselves out of drives, and they just really haven't played very consistent football. And I'm sure that Bill Walsh will go back and evaluate the whole situation and come up with changes.
They play the Bengals next week at Cincinnati. Right now they're staring at the possibility of an 0-2 start because Cincinnati will be no picnic at home.
Going into Cincinnati, they'll run into Boomer Esiason and that group, Brooks, their big fullback. That will be an exciting game.
That'll be the first half of our doubleheader here on CBS Sports, starting with the NFL Today at 12:30. Those are the games which will make up the second part of the doubleheader for our audience today. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Joe Montana of Monongahela, Pennsylvania. The native son coming home to what has so far been a frustrating day. Craig gets nowhere on first down. Keith Gary there to make the stop for the Steelers. Well, it was supposed to be the Steelers who would have trouble on the offensive front, but the 49ers cannot move the Steeler defense.
Going without a huddle here because they need to speed things up. They've only got 8 minutes left. They have to have 2 touchdowns to go ahead, 3 scores to tie the thing up. They get a lot of pressure there in the passing situation, and that plays into the Steelers' hands.
And Keith Gary gets the sack on Montana. And now it is Montana. No, check it. That is number 51, Randy Cross, the veteran guard out of UCLA, who is holding his left knee.
Here's the pressure. Here's Randy Cross, the right guard, backing up to give Montana the pass protection. Here's Montana sitting in the pocket, giving him a look to the right-hand side. Here comes Keith Gary, pressured him. He falls in for the sack.
And Cross was bent backward, the knee hyperextended there. The 49ers started the day with Guy McIntyre getting a start at guard. John Ayers, longtime starter across the front, was cut in preseason. Bruce Colley is the backup guard out of Texas Arlington. Randy Cross had a torn ligament in his left knee in 1985. So you might worry as to whether that knee was susceptible to further injury. Now it's the right knee that they're working on, though. It's the right side.
Those knees weren't quite made to play on this stuff.
Well, going into the draft, Bill Walsh wanted help in the offensive line. They got a first-round tackle, Harris Barton, out of North Carolina. And in the second round, an All-America guard, Jeff Briegel from Southern Cal. But Briegel is on the injured list right now. So it will have to be Colley now, who'll come into the game to play for Cross. And an offensive line which hasn't done much to create any holes for the running game gets a little bit weaker. Check it is now Sapalu, Jesse Sapalu, the backup center, who can play guard or tackle, who comes in at that position.
Valuable player on the offensive line because he can play several different positions. It looks like he's going to have to this year. If they're going to do something, Jim, they need to get started with it. They got 8 minutes, 17 left. They got to have 2 scores. They need to get going. Screen.
8 yards short of a first down. Lupe Sanchez on the tackle.
The crowd's on their side now. Maybe this defense is starting to establish their own identity. They've lived in the shadow of the 4 Super Bowl teams in the 70s. Maybe this team will get some respect now and form their own identity.
Runniger hits a big one. Lifts across the 30 to the 34. Jesse Sapalu downfield to make the tackle for San Francisco. 51-yard punt, 11-yard return. I'm sure it can be an imposing and intimidating factor when the crowd begins to rise up here in Steeltown.
They get excited and start waving those terrible towels. You're in just a world of trouble.
Well, when we walked in here the other day, Kenny, you looked up at the sky and said, that's what I remember from Three Rivers Stadium.
I don't remember the fine scoreboard and all the fine seats and all the signs around the place. I remember that huge opening in the top of this place.
From your vantage point, that used to be the view, huh?
Yeah, I saw part of it. The other time it was Joe Green laying on top of me.
1st and 10. Malone will probably try to keep it on the ground with Jackson. He gets a yard.
First downs would be awfully important right here. Run off some of that clock, maintain control of the ball, do it on the ground. Don't take any chances throwing the ball. We need a couple of first downs running. Joe Green. Seems like every time I come here, he's right in my face.
Defensive line coach, first year on the Steelers staff. They brought him in partially to try to make a player out of a former #1 draft pick named Darrell Sims.
Talked to Joe at practice the other day. He looks terrific. He's lost some weight and just looks like he can still play.
But he couldn't get the first job done. They cut Sims the other day. First round pick 2 years ago, out of pro football at the moment. Abercrombie gets away. Into San Francisco territory to the 46-yard line. McKyer made the saving tackle for the 49ers.
This is going to be the strength of the Pittsburgh Steelers team all year long, is their ability to run. You see Ernest Jackson leading Walter Abercrombie around the right side, shakes off a tackle, turns it upfield. Tim McKyer makes the play. They've got a strong running game. Their offensive line is working real well together. The team may be something to contend with in the AFC Central.
There's a late hit called against San Francisco. You heard the crowd react favorably to that. So tack on another 15. Move the football to the 30-yard line And the 49ers are in a world of trouble right now.
Absolutely. They go in from right here and the hay's in the barn.
A dejected Bill Walsh. The headset off. Audible. Interesting that he would take all that time to call a trap at the line of scrimmage.
Probably, Jim, because of the overshift of the defensive line. The San Francisco defensive line shifts one way. They shift to the weak side. It's an under. The shift to the strong side. It's an over, and he sees that. Tries to make a call to run away from the strength of the defense. Played very well that time by the 49ers.
The Bengals have beaten Indianapolis to start the season, though they got a tough run at it from Ron Meyer's team. So Cincinnati will be 1-0 as they face the 49ers at home next week. Second down 9. Abercrombie pops through again.
This sort of thing, Jim, is going to give this team just an awful lot of confidence. It's going to help all the offensive line. They've been maligned during the year. It's going to be it's going to do a world of good for these people's confidence.
It is 30-10 in favor of Pittsburgh. They're about to win a football game, which by all rights, here's the performance of the quarterback, you wouldn't have thought they'd win.
Here's the trap play that Chuck Noll has run since he's been in Pittsburgh. There's Terry Long pulling. There's a handoff to Abercrombie. Breaks behind the block. Breaks a tackle right here and goes in. She turns on the speed, runs away from the defensive back. Ronnie Lott scores. Like I said, this will do a world of good for the whole team's confidence. The offensive line understands that Mark Malone's struggling a little bit, and all the front office people have to be extremely happy.
That's Dan Rooney, and you saw on that replay Renstra, the left guard, pushing Dwayne Board out of the way with his hands.
The offensive line has just played very, very well today. They have an awful lot of yards on the ground. Like I said, they understand that Mark Malone has trouble at times, and they have to be able to run the ball, control the ball, and play very physical defense, and that's what they've done today.
And this year, in perhaps the league's most significant rule change, blockers can use their hands and arms anywhere on the field.
Absolutely.
Anderson kicks it off. And this time, Harry Sidney will put it down. A good look at Walter Abercrombie. Sometimes maligned in the past. #1 draft choice out of Baylor in 1982. Starting within the past season and a half to come into his own.
Hasn't really produced the way that they thought a #1 draft choice should, but he's in an offense that will let him produce. They're predominantly a running offense, and with him, Ernest Jackson, they have 2 fine players, #3, #4 in rushing last year. They fit perfectly in this offense.
Well, let me ask you this, Snake. As a great passer, how important do you think it is to be able to run the football in the NFL?
No doubt about it. You have to, Jim. You live by the run, you die by the run. You live by the pass, you die by the pass. You have to be able to have a balanced attack, run the ball, be able to get good first down plays so you can play fast on second and short, things like that. You have to be as balanced as possible.
The Steelers have run for 5 times as much yardage today as have their opponents, the 49ers. Second down 2 after the short pass to Roger Craig. Short pass to Cribbs. He'll get the first down.
I don't understand this right here, Jim. They throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. They get 3 or 4 yards. They've only got 4 minutes and 40 seconds to get 2 or 3 scores. I think they need to drop back, throw the ball down the field, and challenge them.
Bill Walsh tried to motivate his team based on their miserable performance against the Seattle Seahawks in the last preseason game. Now he has to motivate them for Cincinnati next week. Dwayne Woodruff makes the stop. on Craig, who now has 10 catches in the game. Chuck Noll about to pick up his 171st victory, move into sole possession of 5th place on the all-time list of victories by NFL coaches. Ahead of him, Hallis, Shula, Landry, Curly Lambeau. Montana to Cribbs, close to first down yardage at the 41. David Little made the hit for the Steelers. Steelers will be quite happy to give Joe as much as he wants of this.
Absolutely. The defensive theory of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they said that they wouldn't mind if Joe Montana had an awful lot of completions and an awful lot of yards. They didn't mind. They would bend a little bit but not break. Joe Montana will wind up with an awful lot of completions and an awful lot of yards. Cribbs will have a lot of catches, but they really don't have that many points.
With the football across the 45 to the 47. It will be 2nd down and about 5. One of the more effective running plays of the day for San Francisco. Washington back on top of Philadelphia as Doug Williams tries to win it for the Redskins.
Doug Williams, a very valuable player. The backup quarterbacks this year or every year seem to be a very valuable commodity. The quarterbacks have been going down with quite a bit of frequency. Bobby Hebert goes down last year, but he's back this year, and there's an awful lot of emphasis put on having a very, very good backup quarterback. San Francisco's case, they have Steve Young.
A lot of people have picked Cleveland to go to the Super Bowl. They trail right now against New Orleans. Tampa Bay get a huge game today from Steve DeBerg. And I guess any quarterback has to benefit from the presence of Ray Perkins, who's a very quarterback-oriented coach.
No doubt. Vinny Testaverde will learn an awful lot from these people, and they probably have the highest paid backup quarterback in the league.
Jets leading Buffalo by 3. As you look at number 50, David Little.
David Little, good linebacker. David Little has never missed a game in his 6-year career. He had a string of something like 89 games going into this, and he limps off. I'm sure he won't miss next week's.
He'll play. One tough customer. When Perkins was playing wide receiver with you at Alabama, did he know a lot about what the quarterbacks were doing?
Ray Perkins has always been a very intelligent football player. In college, when I played with him, he knew what was going on both sides of the ball. He understood the passing game, the running game, the blocking combinations. He also understood defenses, where to beat defenses, where the weak spots were. He's an intelligent coach.
Would he cut up and giggle with you a little bit?
Ray was always kind of off to himself, very, very reserved.
He hadn't changed.
Nope.
John Frank with the football gets across the 49. For Montana, that is the 23rd pass completion of the game. He is in all likelihood going to lose it. Well, check it. That is the 30th pass completion of the game. 30th completion of the day for Montana. He's in all likelihood going to lose it to a team whose quarterback has completed 9 of 33. Tennis is next. Yvonne Lendl against Mats Wilander. Lendl gunning for his 3rd straight U.S. Open title. Cribbs breaks through and gets to the 43. And at this moment, Snake, it looks as though the Niners are just trying to establish a little offensive continuity going to next week.
Absolutely. Try to do something that, like you say, establishes some kind of continuity, some kind of consistency. They've hurt themselves all day with turnovers and penalties. Joe just throws this one away.
Montana, his wife Jennifer, his 2 infant daughters Alexandra and Elizabeth, both of his parents all now live in California, but he grew up here in the Mon Valley as a Steeler fan. Liked Frenchie Fuqua, Lynn Swann, Terry Bradshaw, particularly Rocky Bleier. Never attended a Steeler game in Three Rivers Stadium. First saw the inside of this place November 1, 1981, when he came in wearing a 49er uniform and a flak jacket to protect some injured ribs. His team won 17-14.
Probably not real pleased with being at this game.
No, probably wishes he were in California at this moment. Throws to Rice. Rice breaks inside the 30 to the 28. And barring a timeout, that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. Woodruff and Shell made the tackle. But they're just playing out the string now as the Steelers try to put the lid on a 30-10 win over Frisco. Pittsburgh with the Steelers leading San Francisco 30-10. The happiest man in the ballpark, perhaps, the rookie Delton Hall. started today at cornerback. Certainly knew that the 49ers were going to come at him, and he has more than held his own.
What a way to start, especially when you're facing a Joe Montana and a Jerry Rice, and you're going to be picked on all day. He's responsible for a lot of points on their side of the ball.
We will have a post-game show coming up. From here, we'll talk to some of the prominent players in the game. As Montana hits Dwight Clark, and Clark takes it down close to the 20-yard line. Mike Merriweather made the stop for the Steelers. Cribbs down to the 5. Clock continues to roll. 49ers will have first and goal. Thomas Everett, number 27, seeing his first action, made the tackle for Pittsburgh, the 4th-round draft choice out of Baylor, who is expected at some point this season to become the starting free safety.
You bet. Highly regarded player by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they expect to play him some today, which they have, get him as much experience as they can, but look for him to play quite a bit the entire year.
And given the performance of Hall today, the fact that Woodruff looks as though he's all the way back, Donnie Shell being who he is, and their high hopes for Everett, maybe the secondary won't be as bad as it looked in preseason.
If today's game is any indication, you're absolutely right. They're getting a lot of pressure on the passer and creating some situations that help that young defensive secondary. They played a lot of zones today. They didn't try to match up man-to-man with guys like Rice and Mike Wilson, and that's going to help them. As long as they can get that pass rush, get this game is under their belt, get them some experience, this group may not be as bad as everybody thinks.
Down, Cribbs gets about a yard. The Steelers in preseason were 0-4 for the first time in 22 years. And the secondary was burned for 61% pass completion percentage, 270 yards per game, and 11 touchdowns. They've done the job against Montana today. Touchdown, Montana to Rice.
That's the thing that Joe does the best. Run around, use those quick feet, let Jerry Rice work. A lot of pressure being put on, but he moves very, very well, but it's a little bit late.
Small consolation at best. It came with 58 seconds to go. Wersching will try to narrow it to 30-17.
Well, that's an awful lot to be proud of on the Pittsburgh Steelers side of the ball. They played very, very well. They come in there under their home team underdog, playing a team that was 10-6, 10-5-1 last year with a great quarterback in Joe Montana. Had great receivers, Rice, Wilson, and running backs, and Craig, an outstanding player. But Pittsburgh's defense stood up to the challenge. Got a lot of pressure on Montana, forced interceptions, forced turnovers, and the rookies played very well. All phases of their game was pretty well. They ran the ball pretty good. Mark Malone seemed to have his problems, but the running game saved him.
San Francisco 49ers won the Super Bowl in 1981, won the Super Bowl in 1984, conference semifinal 1985, beaten by the Giants. Conference semifinal 1986, blown out by the Giants, 49-3. A rising sun or a setting sun? Today, it has looked more like the latter for Walsh and the 49ers.
No doubt. They'll go back to the Bay Area and go back to the drawing board. It is extremely early in the season. It's just the first game. But if this game is an indicator, they do have an awful lot of work to do.
Onside kick. Gets loose.
San Francisco comes up with it, I think.
Nope. Steelers have the football. The importance of next week's game for San Francisco is magnified by the specter of a coming work stoppage, which would shorten the season.
Season is shortened to so many games, and every victory will become awfully important, as every loss will become extremely important. So as you say, Jim, the advent of the strike is going to magnify every win and every loss.
It's going to make next week critical for teams which began the season thinking of themselves as contenders and have lost today. And this is case A right here.
Can't be very happy with today's performance.
Well, he took the headset off about 7 minutes ago, and I think that says it all.
The script, the clipboard, and the headset all put up.
Interesting that this team made some unusual cuts 6 days ago when they cut down to 45 players. Big name veterans went. Tony Hill, gone. Tom Cousineau, gone. Keith Browner, picked up from Tampa Bay in the offseason, gone.
Russ
In
Francis.
their place, Russ Francis on injured reserve. In their place, free agents. And now on the second kickoff, which followed the first one that went out of bounds, the Steelers get the recovery from Preston Gothard, and Pittsburgh will have the football at the San Francisco 38-yard line.
Well, it's got to be a good feeling for Mark Malone coming in. Everybody's been on his case. He really hasn't played all that well today. Like I said earlier, the running game has bailed him out, and they played great defense. But to look up at the scoreboard, playing a team like the 49ers, a playoff-type team, and being ahead of them by 13 points with only less than a minute to go, the young man's got to feel real good about it.
Ernest Jackson tries to get to the 100-yard mark. He might have done it. Pickup of 12 yards on the play, and that takes him up to 103, and he knew the numbers because he came up with a big grin.
Play that they've run all through the years in the 70s with Franco Harris, and no exception here with Ernest Jackson. It's an underneath handling trap where they just break the ball inside off the trapping guard. Gets him his 100 yards, and you can tell that he's enjoying this.
I wonder if he's got an incentive clause in the contract for 100-yard games.
If there's incentive clauses in those contracts, you can bet these players know how many yards they need.
Don't that, or can't that be counterproductive, Kenny?
Absolutely, if a player starts playing on an individual basis as opposed to playing under a team concept.
Well, that's going to be it. As the Steelers have now run out the clock, 49ers will do nothing to stop it. And Pittsburgh walks off the field with a 30-17 victory over the 49ers. Bill Walsh comes over to congratulate Chuck Noll, as Noll, with his 171st career victory, moves ahead of Paul Brown on the all-time list into sole possession of 5th place for total wins by an NFL coach. And Mark Malone leaves the field a winner despite having completed 9 of 33 passes for 99 yards in the game.
He'll get better. The offensive line will get better. They'll all get better. It's a fairly young team. They played very physical defense. Mark Malone didn't throw the ball as well as he would like, but he'll settle for it. Anytime you can walk off the field and win, you beat a team with players as Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and a Bill Walsh coach team, I think you've done an awful lot, especially with a team that was 6-10 in the prior season.
They were 5.5-point underdogs on their home field. Did you ever once enter a game as a home dog, Kenny?
Not playing in the Oakland Coliseum with the teams that we had. We were always favored in the Coliseum.
Do players pay attention to the point spread?
I don't think at all. I mean, it's always put in your face because it's going to be in the newspapers. It's going to be, the media's going to put it in your face, but no, players aren't concerned with point spreads.
We remind you we'll have a post-game show on CBS Sports, a recap of this game and others. So stick with us as we're at Three Rivers. Roger.